Many gardeners assume herbs need bright, non-stop sunshine to survive. The common belief is that without at least 6 hours of direct sunlight, plants like basil, thyme, or rosemary simply won't grow well. But the truth is a little different. Shade doesn't have to mean failure. In fact, quite a few herbs don't just tolerate shade, they actually grow beautifully in it. Whether you have a north-facing balcony, a yard shaded by trees, or a cool, slightly damp corner of your garden, you can turn that overlooked space into a lush and fragrant herb garden. In this guide, I'll share practical insights, soil tips, and simple care techniques that make growing herbs in low light not only possible, but surprisingly rewarding. The first thing to understand is the type of shade you're working with. Not all shade is the same. Some areas receive partial shade, meaning they get about 3 to 4 hours of soft morning sunlight or filtered light through trees. Other areas fall into full shade, where direct sunlight barely reaches the ground. Most herbs actually prefer that middle ground. If your garden receives dappled or indirect light during part of the day, you're already working with a great environment for many herbs. Deep shade, like the space beneath thick tree canopies or beside tall buildings, can be a bit more challenging, but it's still workable with the right approach. Think of shade as giving plants a lighter diet of sunlight. They may not get the full dose of sun, but if you balance the other essentials, good soil, steady moisture, and proper nutrients, they can still grow strong and healthy. One thing that changes in shaded areas is how the soil behaves. Without strong sunlight, the soil doesn't dry out as quickly, so moisture tends to stay longer. While that can be helpful, it also means poorly balanced soil can easily become waterlogged. When that happens, roots struggle to breathe. To help herbs grow well in low light, the soil should be loose, rich, and well-draining. Start with quality compost that's full of organic matter and life. Then add materials like coarse sand or perlite to improve drainage and keep the soil airy. Here's a simple tip many gardeners overlooked. Herbs growing in shade need good airflow in the soil just as much as they need light. When soil becomes compacted, it traps water and can cause root rot. Loosening the top inch of soil from time to time and avoiding heavy mulching can make a big difference. Aim to keep the soil slightly moist but never soggy. When the balance is right, even shade-loving herbs can produce strong, fragrant leaves packed with flavor. Now let's talk about choosing the right herbs. If you've been struggling to grow sun-loving herbs like basil in darker corners of your garden, it may simply be a matter of picking plants better suited for the conditions. Some herbs naturally thrive with less sunlight. Parsley, cilantro, chives, mint, lemon balm, and oregano are excellent choices for shaded or semi-shaded areas because they're naturally adapted to woodland environments.
Mint, for example, actually enjoys the coolness of shaded soil and grows thick and lush when it has enough moisture. Lemon balm releases a refreshing citrus scent even when it receives only a few hours of light each day. Chives also do well with gentle morning sun or filtered light, producing tender shoots perfect for salads and soups. If you really want to grow basil, try varieties like Thai basil or lettuce leaf basil, which tend to handle lower light conditions better than others.
Another common mistake gardeners make with shade-grown herbs is watering too frequently. Since shaded soil loses moisture more slowly, it stays damp longer than soil in sunny spots. Because of this, herbs should be watered deeply, but less often. Before watering, check the top inch of soil with your fingers. If it still feels damp, it's best to wait another day. Herbs growing in shade appreciate consistency rather than heavy watering. Instead of soaking the soil every couple of days, aim for steady moisture that mimics gentle rainfall or morning dew. Watering lightly in the morning is ideal because it allows the leaves to dry during the day. This helps prevent mildew and fungal diseases, which tend to develop in cool, damp conditions. Shade usually comes with cooler air and less natural airflow, and herbs benefit from a bit of circulation. If your plants are in a courtyard or tucked behind a wall where air feels still, try spacing your pots a little farther apart. Even a small garden fan can help keep air moving. Better airflow reduces the chance of fungal spots and keeps leaves strong and healthy. It's also worth remembering that not all shade is cool. Some shaded areas, especially near walls, patios, or stone surfaces, can actually hold on to heat. Take a little time to observe how the space feels throughout the day. Herbs like cilantro and parsley generally enjoy cooler shaded conditions, while oregano and lemon balm are more comfortable with a bit of warmth. Understanding these small differences can make a big impact on how well your plants grow. When sunlight is limited, plants naturally slow down their growth. This means your herbs won't use nutrients as quickly as plants growing in full sun. Because of that, giving them too much fertilizer can actually cause problems. Overfeeding often leads to weak, leggy growth instead of healthy, flavorful leaves. A better approach is to feed lightly about once a month with an organic liquid fertilizer, preferably one that's lower in nitrogen so the plant focuses on flavor rather than excessive leaf growth. An even gentler option is compost tea or diluted fish emulsion. These natural fertilizers release nutrients slowly and steadily, which is perfect for herbs growing in shaded areas. In shade gardening, the goal isn't rapid growth, it's steady, balanced growth. Your herbs may grow a bit slower, but the flavors often become richer and more aromatic because the plants are developing without the stress of intense sun. If the shade in your garden shifts during the day, containers can be incredibly useful. Pots allow you to move your herbs around and take advantage of small pockets of sunlight when they appear. Just be sure your containers have proper drainage holes because shade combined with trapped water can quickly lead to root problems. Clay pots are great for improving airflow in the soil, while plastic pots can help retain moisture if your climate tends to be dry. For areas that stay shady all the time, raised beds can be a wonderful solution. Filled with loose, compost-rich soil, they give herbs more space to stretch their roots and help manage moisture more naturally. The real secret here is simply paying attention. Try both container gardening and raised beds, and over time, you'll notice which herbs prefer the stability of the ground and which enjoy the flexibility of being moved around. Even though herbs grow more slowly in low light, that doesn't mean they lack flavor. In many cases, shade-grown herbs develop stronger, more concentrated oils. The key is harvesting them at the right moment. The best time to pick herbs is in the late morning, after the dew has dried but before the heat of midday arrives. This is when their essential oils and their flavor are at their peak. When harvesting, avoid cutting more than 1/3 of the plant at a time so it can recover quickly. Use sharp scissors or pruners to make clean cuts, which encourages fresh new growth. And here's the wonderful part. The more gently and regularly you harvest, the bushier and healthier your herbs become. Light pruning is like a quiet conversation between you and your plants. It encourages them to grow stronger. If your herbs start looking pale or stretched out, they're probably reaching for more light. In that case, try moving them slightly closer to a brighter area. Even light reflecting off a nearby wall can make a difference. Yellow leaves, on the other hand, often point to too much water or poor drainage, so improving the soil structure should be your first step. If growth seems unusually slow, Compacted soil or low nutrients might be the cause, and a little compost tea can often bring plants back to life. Above all, remember that patience is one of the most valuable tools in a shade garden. Plants growing in lower light follow their own gentle rhythm. Once you learn to work with that pace, each new leaf and fresh sprout feels like a small reward. Growing herbs in the shade isn't about luck or complicated techniques. It's really about observation, balance, and understanding how plants adapt to their surroundings. With the right mix of soil, moisture, and airflow, even a shaded corner can become a vibrant patch of life. Mint scenting the air, lemon balm brushing your fingertips, and parsley ready to be picked for the kitchen. So if you've been ignoring those darker corners of your garden, maybe it's time to see them differently. Shade isn't a limitation, it's an opportunity to garden a little smarter. And if you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to subscribe to Soil Story and share it with fellow gardeners. Together, we can turn every forgotten patch of soil into something thriving and beautiful.